In Uganda, we have a chant that motivates us as the people and reminds us of the power we have. And we say, people power. People power. You're going to say our power. People power. Our power. People power. Our power. People power. Our power. In a world where the guns have repressed the people power, the people must stand up twice, must double their commitment, their confidence, to see that we rise to the militarism and we rise to the dictators. My name is Samuel Kisitu. When I fled from Uganda to come to Canada, I named myself Freeman. I thought I have come to the land of milk and honey, the land where my dreams will be fulfilled, the sanctuary country. I had landed in the sanctuary city, thinking things will be better than ever before when I get protection. But here I come to the sad reality. When we saw so many Africans on the streets, we don't know that so many fled the wars that the Airshow is promoting. Shame. Again, my name is Samuel Kisitu. I am a member of the Migrant Workers Alliance for Change. I stand here before you today as someone who fled Uganda, seeking asylum in Canada after being targeted for supporting the People Power movement. A movement that led to the growth of a political party called the National Unity Platform, led by Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, also known as Bobi Wine, a musician who turned politician to fight for the local people, the ghetto people. We are here today not to just speak out, but to demand an end to the glorification of the war, of wars and militarism, which the Toronto Airshow represents. We stand united to demand an end to the war and an end to the borders and an end to the two-tiered immigration system. We call for permanent residence status for every people who fled their homes seeking for protection, finding safe haven after fleeing wars and other devastations. We want the permanent residence status. We demand that the permanent residence status include all undocumented people. But to truly understand why we are here today, we must confront the tragic reality that wars enabled by militarism continue to devastate lives around the world, especially Africa. After the horrors of colonialism and slavery, we now endure the ravages of neocolonialism and modern-day slavery. Wars that are sustained by the very militarism that the Airshow glorifies. Across Africa, dictators have clung onto power for far too long, often at the expense of democracy and freedom. And while some may urge that militaries have at times tipped the scales toward democracy, we must change that narrative. Article 1 of the Ugandan Constitution states, all power belongs to the people who shall exercise their sovereignty in accordance to the Constitution. But that is not true in Uganda, and that is why Uganda is listed number 2. UN lists Uganda number 2 of the top countries where people have fled their homes. I mean, the number of migrants immigrants fleeing their homes for permanent stay wherever they go lists Uganda as number 2. But I want to tell you that many of those go undocumented, like other members who are not documented from other countries. So we must stand together. I fled Uganda with this red belt. This red belt, which I wear as not as a symbol of military. No. I'm not a soldier. No. I've never been in the army or police. No. But I wear this beret as a symbol, as a democratic and peaceful symbol of the people power movement. Many of you have seen such berets have the gun. We just have the chant, people power movement, and our fist of standing united wherever we go, whether locally, at home, or in the diaspora. We civilians, we are committed to removing the world is serving dictator, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Museveni who once claimed to fight for liberation. When I put Museveni, you put the dictators back at your home. The dictators you have home. Where I have put Museveni, you put the name of that dictator that you know. Museveni who claimed to fight for liberation, just like that president who wanted to fight for liberation in your country, has now become the very oppressor he fought against. The Ugandan Bush War, which began in my homeland, Luwelo district, claimed the lives of between 100,000 to 500,000 people. The war that brought Museveni to power. My family too was drawn into these conflicts. My father, Elsania Chisitu, I'll make these names because you don't know why. My father, Elsania Chisitu, who named me after his name to be Samuel Chisitu, joined Museveni in the war, in the fight. And my uncle, Wama Livingstone, was killed by Obote's soldiers for hiding Museveni. My father, Leonard Setimba, who survived the war, carried the burdens, the heavy burdens of caring for the widows and orphans the late left behind. I know many of you Canadians know about one dictator, Idi Amin, who expelled the Ugandan Indians in 1972. I want to inform you that the rise and fall of one dictator will make the rise and fall of another. And I want to tell you that it is worse in Uganda. The 38 years that Museveni has been in power, it is horrible for us who want him to free the land, who want him to at least rest, like Biden says, I stop here. Growing up, I witnessed the lasting scars of this war, fueling my unwavering resistance against a government that has brought too much poverty and misery to our people. The pain of losing my uncle symbolizes the sacrifice of so many who dared to resist oppression across the world. This red bellet represents the blood lost, that is why it's red. The blood lost by so many victims of war in Uganda, in Africa, and rest of the world. But the trauma of the war does not end when we cross borders. Even here in Canada, we are confronted with the glorification of the war. As you may see, what's happening. The Toronto Airshow, with its lowering CF-18s, is a blatant advertisement for militarism, showing how powerful they are. These warplanes have slaughtered thousands across Afghanistan, Libya, Iraq, and Syria. They have bombed critical infrastructure, leaving millions without safe drinking water or electricity, and contributing to massive humanitarianism crisis and refugee crisis. Some of us, like myself, we were fortunate enough to escape and flee refugee and flee the lands and seek refugee, or to free. Some of us were fortunate enough to escape and seek refuge in countries like Canada. But the trauma of war does not end when we cross the borders. Many of us are separated from families, forced to navigate an immigration system that devalues our humanity. Even here in Canada, the Toronto Airshow glorifies war, a war that has destroyed our lives and uprooted us from our homes. War is not something we should celebrate. It is something we must resist. We are here to remind you, or to demand justice. An end to war, an end to borders, and an end to a two-tiered immigration system. We demand permanent resident status for everyone, including the undocumented. Let's stop sanitizing the horrors of war and start fighting for peace, justice, and dignity for all. Join us on September 15th at the City Hall at 1 p.m. to the rally to unite against racism and say yes to immigration justice. Let's come together to demand status for all and regularization of everyone. Canada, stop the Toronto Airshow. Thank you for listening.
Just want to say one